evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
John Donovan. Michael Hurley. Here. Jay Lipp. Gaylord Meyer. Here. Eric Sundman. Here. Peter Ambrose. Catherine Burstein. Here. John Jones. Jeff Steele. Here. Keith Varian. Ed Basin. Here. Samuel Cargill. Hank Barrett. Here. David McKenzie. Here. Sorry. Mary McCullough. Heather Dean. Joe DiMartino. Here. Bill Gerber. Here. Joe Palmer. Here. Cindy Waldron. Here. Josh Goskoff. Here. Laureen O'Brien. Andrew Semmel. Ruth May. Carol Way. Here. Julie Gottlieb. Here. Alan Marks. Here. Joseph Siebert. Here. Jay Walk. Here. Elizabeth Zezima. Here. Jen Hochberg. Here. Kevin Hopkins. Here. Eric Newman. Here. Phil Piers. Here. Hal Schwartz. Here. Catherine Braun. Alex Durrell. Here. Jason Lee. Tom McCarthy. Here. Jeff Malorano. Here. Pam Iacono.
Here.
Ellen Jacob. Lori McArdle. Here. Carol Pontrelli. Here. Chris Timniak. Here. Brian Caffarelli. Here. Brian Farnan. Here. Ray Newberger. Here. Bill Perugini. Bruce Ryan.
This evening, I would like to invite Gianna Michelangelo to the microphone. Come on over, Gianna. She's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Gianna is a student at Holland Hill School and the daughter of our Director of Public Works. She joined us at our committee meeting on Wednesday and was learning about the local government process. So I asked her if she wanted to come and say the pledge, and she said yes. So kick us off. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you all. And it helped that she wanted to be on TV, so. Our first order of business is to consider and act upon the minutes of the regular monthly meeting held on April 27th, 2015. May I have a motion to approve? Moved by Representative Dean, seconded by Representative McCarthy. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? None. I'm going to try and get this mic back in. Okay. Item passes. Item number 3, to consider and act upon the following appointments to the Fair TV Commission as recommended by the Board of Selectmen. Alexis P. Harrison, Republican, 240 Melody Lane. Term July 2015 to July 2016. Robert Jaimanson, Republican, 501 Wilson Street. Term July 2015, July 2017. Tracy Minsky, Democrat, 1012 Mill Plain Road. Term July 2015, July 2017. James Quinn, Democrat, 508 Wilson Street. Term July 15th through July 2018. May I have a motion to approve? Moved by Representative Hochberg, seconded by Representative Ryan. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, is there any commentary from the public? Back to the body. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The item passes unanimously. Thank you all for your service. Next item. To hear, consider, and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the Board of Finance. Whereas federal monies are available under the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program, it is administered by the State of Connecticut Department of Housing pursuant to Public Law 93-383 as amended, and whereas pursuant to Chapter 127C and Part 6 of Chapter 130 of the Connecticut General Statutes, the Commissioner of Housing is authorized to disperse such federal monies to local municipalities, and whereas it is desirable and in the public interest that the town of Fairfield accept from the state a grant in the sum not to exceed $560,000 in order to undertake a community development block grant disaster recovery Tranche 1 project, Pine Creek Culvert upgrade, and to execute an assistance agreement, therefore, should one be offered. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Fairfield is cognizant of the conditions and prerequisites for state assistance imposed by Part 6 of Chapter 130 of the Connecticut General Statutes, and that acceptance by the town of Fairfield of a disaster recovery community development block grant to be used for the Pine Creek Culvert upgrade in an amount not to exceed $560,000 is hereby approved, and further resolved that the first selectman is hereby authorized on behalf of the town of Fairfield to accept and expend said grant, and further resolved that the first selectman is hereby authorized on behalf of the town of Fairfield to execute any and all documents to secure the grant. Moved by Representative Hurley, seconded by Representative Dean. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, any comments from the public? Back to the body. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Item passes unanimously. You're going to hear my voice in your dreams tonight. Item number 5, to hear, consider, and act upon the following resolution as recommended. Thank you.
Summarize the points that might be different from the previous one.
Point of order, I would suggest not to. You've got TV cameras, they need to see what we're talking about and discussing. I think it needs to be read once.
I was just thinking that it's different from some of the standard ones.
Yeah. Do you want to make a motion or no? Okay. Whereas federal monies are available under the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program administered by the State of Connecticut Department of Housing pursuant to Public Law 93-383 as amended, and whereas pursuant to Chapter 127C and Part 6 of Chapter 130 of the Connecticut General Statutes, the Commissioner of Housing is authorized to disperse such federal monies to local municipalities, and whereas it is desirable and in the public interest that the town of Fairfield accept from the state a grant in a sum not to exceed $500,000 in order to undertake a community development block grant disaster recovery Tranche 1 project repair of Penfield Pavilion, and to execute an assistance agreement, therefore, should one be offered. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Fairfield is cognizant of the conditions and prerequisites for state assistance imposed by Part 6 of Chapter 130 of the Connecticut General State Statutes, and that the acceptance by the town of Fairfield of a disaster recover community development block grant to be used for the repair at Penfield Pavilion in an amount not to exceed $500,000 is hereby approved, and further resolved that the first selectman is hereby authorized on behalf of the town to execute any and all necessary documents to secure the grant. Moved by Representative Hurley, seconded by Representative Dean. Is there any discussion? Any comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Item passes unanimously. Goodness. Item number 6, to hear, consider, and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the Board of Finance. Whereas federal monies are available under the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program administered by the State of Connecticut Department of Housing pursuant to Public Law 93-383 as amended, and whereas pursuant to Chapter 127C and Part 6 of Chapter 130 of the Connecticut General Statutes, the Commissioner of Housing is authorized to disperse such federal monies to local municipalities, and whereas it is desirable and in the public interest that the town of Fairfield accept from the state a grant in a sum not to exceed $225,000 in order to undertake a community development block grant disaster recovery tranche 2 project, shoreline resiliency improvements at Penfield Beach, and to execute an assistance agreement, therefore, should one be offered. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Fairfield is cognizant of the conditions and prerequisites for the state assistance imposed by Part 6 of Chapter 130 of the Connecticut General State Statute, and that the acceptance by the town of Fairfield of a disaster recover community development block grant to be used for the shoreline resiliency improvements at Penfield Beach in an amount not to exceed $225,000 is hereby approved, and further resolved that the first selectman is hereby authorized on behalf of the town of Fairfield to execute any and all necessary documents to secure said grant. Moved by Representative Hurley, seconded by Representative Siebert. Any discussion? I think I've discussed it all. Is there any comment from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed, signify by saying nay. Abstentions? Item passes unanimously. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. To hear, consider, and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the Board of Finance. Whereas federal monies are available under the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program administered by the State of Connecticut Department of Housing pursuant to Public Law 93-383 as amended, and whereas pursuant to Chapter 127C and Part 6 of Chapter 130 of the Connecticut General Statutes, the Commissioner of Housing is authorized to disperse such federal monies to local municipalities, and whereas it is desirable and in the public interest that the town of Fairfield accept from the state a grant in a sum not to exceed $74,500 in order to undertake a community development block grant disaster recovery tranche 1 project, WPCF sanitary sewer outfall repair, and to execute an assistance agreement, therefore should one be offered. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Fairfield is cognizant of the conditions and prerequisites for state assistance imposed by Part 6 of Chapter 130 of the Connecticut General Statutes, and that the acceptance by the town of Fairfield of a disaster recover community development block grant to be used for WPCF sanitary sewer outfall repair in an amount not to exceed $74,500 is hereby approved, and further resolved that the first selectman is hereby authorized on behalf of the town of Fairfield to accept and expend said grant, and further resolved that the first selectman is hereby authorized on behalf of the town of Fairfield to execute any and all necessary documents to secure said grant. Moved by Representative Hurley, seconded by Representative Gottlieb. Any discussion? Comments from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Item passes unanimously. Oh my goodness. This is why we need quorums at committee meetings, people. This could be on the consent agenda and you don't have to listen to me. Item number 8, to consider and act upon the following resolution. Whereas, pursuant to the Connecticut General Statutes, Section 7-169, the Fairfield Register of Voters are required to designate by agreement a polling place for each of the 10 voting districts in town, and whereas, pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes, Section 7-169, if the registers of voters fail to agree on a polling place for a particular district, the legislative body of the town is to designate said polling place. And whereas the register of voters have failed to agree on polling places for districts 1, 2, 6, and 7, now, therefore, be it resolved that in accordance with Connecticut General Statutes, the following locations are designated as polling places for their respective voting districts. District 1, Dwight Elementary School or Burr Elementary School. District 2, St. Pius School or North Stratfield Elementary School. District 6, McKinley Elementary School or Holy Family Parish Hall. District 7, Holland Hill Elementary School or Fairfield University Dolan School of Business. May I have a motion? Moved by Representative Schwartz, seconded by Representative Bateson. Representative Bateson.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Ed Bateson, District 3. I'd like to make a motion to divide this item and take the items out of order at the same time.
Is there a second? Seconded by Representative Hurley. Is there any discussion on separating this? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Representative Bateson.
Thank you for that motion. I would like to address District 1 first. I believe both of these facilities are located within districts, so there will be a minimal procedure involved with this. I'd like to recommend that this body adopt Dwight Elementary School as the polling location.
Is there anyone else who wishes to discuss? Oh, was there a second? Representative McCarthy, thank you. Is there any discussion? Excellent. No, this one is, we're going to do them each separately, and these two are, this is in district, so I'll wait for the amendment till we go out of district.
To address the town attorney's, if he's saying it's amendment, I guess you could say I'm amending District 1 to reflect that we are selecting Dwight. So if you want to technically call it an amendment, I guess you could.
Is that a better?
Do you want me to do that? Okay, I'd like to put forth, I think we all understand what the town attorney's saying. Since there is a resolution before us, I guess technically I'm amending it. So I'm going to propose a resolution to amend the following to strike Burr Elementary School. So therefore, the resolution, the resolution would read District 1, Dwight Elementary School.
All right, so this is on the amendment for Dwight.
I'm striking Burr from the resolution so that the resolution will simply read District 1, Dwight Elementary School.
Further discussion on this item? Seeing none, anybody from the public? Back to the body. All those in favor of the amendment for Dwight Elementary School striking Burr signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Item passes. Now we need to vote on the main motion. No? Do the amendments and then go?
I say we go through the amendments.
Okay. All right, what do you want to take second?
Okay, I'm going to
District-
proceed out of order to District 7. I'm going to propose an amendment to strike Fairfield University, parentheses, Dolan Business School. So therefore, that would read District 7, Holland Hill Elementary School.
Seconded by Representative Garskoff. Is there discussion on this item? Is there any comment from the public? Back to the body. All those in favor of Holland Hill Elementary Schools, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Item passes.
Okay, thank you, Madam Moderator. I'm going to go back to District 6. I think this one might get a little bit more complicated because I think I have to put some language in, and I'm going to cite the fact that due to the lack of an existing, convenient, or suitable polling place within the lines of a particular voting district, we feel that the appropriate facility would be McKinley School. So therefore, I would propose to strike Holy Family Parish Hall. I have a point of order from the town attorney.
Yep, please.
We're going to hear his recommendation, I guess.
We had some correspondence with one of the staff attorneys at the Secretary of State's office, and I just want to read part of his email because I think this may guide you in the procedure, not the effect, but just the procedure. And what he wrote is this: as a final note, once the legislative body does act, they must follow and adhere to the same standards as the registrars of voters. First, they must attempt to identify a suitable polling location within the district. If one is not available, they must certify in writing with the municipal clerk that a suitable polling location within the district does not exist before they can identify a location outside of the district. So I think that the first step would be, and you started to make the motion, but I've prepared a couple letters for the moderator to sign. So I think your first step would be to have a motion that we find that no suitable polling place exists. And I would also ask that you add in your amendment, and we further direct the moderator to so inform the town clerk in writing. Then she can sign the letter, give it to the town clerk's representative here, and then you can go on to vote for whichever polling place you want.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lesser. I'll give this a shot. You want to stay at the podium and correct me if I do something wrong? Okay, having heard the opinion of the town attorney, I'm going to wing this.
Let him, it'll win. Yes.
Whoever came up with this little thing here, I kind of like this. Okay. District 6. Hold on, I'm looking for the town attorney's letter. That we would like to recommend to the moderator to refer to the town clerk that after examination of potential polling places within the certain voting district, that being District 6 in this instance, it is the opinion of the representative town meeting expressed by the resolution I am now amending, I am proposing that there is no suitable polling location, so we will ask the moderator to refer that note to the town clerk, and at the same time propose to amend the resolution to read District 6, strike Holy Family Parish Hall, and designate the polling place McKinley Elementary School.
It's a good first effort. I think you might just say that you move an amendment, and the motion would be that we find that there is no suitable or convenient polling place within District 1.
6 in this
Or
instance.
6 in this case. And then...
I believe that's what I said, but I can't.
And they can vote on, let them vote on that, and then once you've found that, then you can go back and...
Okay, so you want me to do two
I
separate
would
steps?
I would do it
All
separately.
right, we're going to follow the town attorney's advice and do
Also
two
direct-
separate steps. Sorry, guys, I tried to save a step.
And also
okay.
direct the moderator to notify in writing.
Okay, having heard that, I got to go back to the letter again.
It's suitable and convenient to Mr. Bates.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It's convenient or suitable is the language of the statute.
Convenient or suitable?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, regarding District 6, again, that, this is, after examination of potential polling places within District 6, it is the opinion of the representative town meeting expressed by this resolution that there is no
Convenient or suitable.
convenient or suitable polling location located within this district.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there a second? Representative Schwartz. Any discussion? All those, is there any discussion from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Item passes. So what we've established is that there is no suitable location within the district. Suitable or convenient. Existing, yeah, whatever the heck the,
Yeah.
I got it right here.
I know what I'm doing.
No, that's not what I was...
No, but this is a statute. Existing, convenient, or suitable polling place. All right, so we've established there's no existing, convenient, or suitable polling place. Now I think you want to make an amendment to,
Okay, having
Pick
said
one of
that and
those
having
locations.
get that approved, I would like to amend this item before us to read District, I would move to strike Holy Family Parish Hall and have it read District 6, McKinley Elementary School.
is there a second? Representative Siebert. Any discussion?
Hold off on the vote for 1 second.
I just have to literally legally sign this. What is this, 6?
That was 6.
Okay. I think I only printed one of these, though.
Yeah, that's all right. You can add to the second.
Okay, we're in legal compliance. Is there any discussion on Holland Hill? Or is that where we are? McKinley, sorry. McKinley? Seeing none, any comments from the public? All those in favor of McKinley School, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? None. Item passes. Now we're on, you have District 2 left. First, we need to do what, the step to,
Yep. I can't remember it, but I'll try. Okay, now we are in District 2, St. Pius / North Stratfield. I am going to go the same way I did before, hopefully, and I would like to cite that after examination of potential polling places within the district, it is the opinion of the representative town meeting, as expressed by this amendment that this resolution I'm putting forth, that North Stratfield School does not. There is no convenient or suitable polling location located within that district. Thank you. I think that's similar to what I did last time.
do you need the language for direct the moderator to sign the letter? And I direct the moderator to sign the letter to notify the clerk.
And I would ask if approved that the moderator sign this letter and forward it to the town clerk on our behalf.
Is there a second? Representative McCarthy, any discussion? Representative Schwartz.
Hal Schwartz, District 7. I think the motion is irrelevant because we do have a suitable and convenient location within the district. North Stratfield School has been a polling location for years. It's in the district. So therefore, how can the body find the location to be inadequate, non-convenient, and I don't know. We've been using it for years. It's in district. Therefore, it fulfills the state statute, which says the first criteria is that the polling location needs to be in district. I don't think the body can pass this because that would put us against the state statute. So I think you got to vote this down.
Representative Bateson.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Moderator. Ed Bateson, District 3. I should have explained why I did this. I mean, I was a little confused at all the process we had to do tonight. My feeling on how we're going to call this convenient or suitable. What I thought, or what I saw that would happen when we developed this new District 2, which happens to be predominantly labeled the old same District 2. What I would like to see, or what I think a majority of us would like to see, that you vote at the same place that you have in the past. That has been something that, I guess when, we had a discussion on Dwight and Burr up in my district. And, I thought Burr was a nice facility. It's brand new. And I thought, hey, that makes sense. We'll vote at Burr. But then somebody had said, but I always vote at Dwight. And you know what? To me, that resonated with me for the simple fact that, yeah, it might be nice to get people up there to see what they spent all their money on and get them to see a facility they would not normally see. But there's a familiarity with Dwight School. People have voted there for years, and I think that it's convenient. I'm on my way home from the train station. I'll go there. I think that breeds participation and, familiarity. And this is where I've always gone. I know where the gym is. I know where to park, stuff like that. So if we could argue semantics or legalities of what's suitable or convenient, can I say that North Stratfield meets the suitability? I'm sure it's handicap accessible. It's a public building. I'm sure it has bathrooms. I'm sure it has phone lines. I'm sure it has parking. So would you call that suitable? Yes, I would admit that is suitable. Is it convenient? For the majority of people that are now in that district, I don't think it is. Because I think the majority of people that are in that district now, the new District 2, have traditionally voted at St. Pius, which meets all the suitability criteria, the same as North Stratfield. So that would be my argument, in the fact that I would like to see us maintain that polling place. I'm going to say, I'm sure tonight we're going to hear the arguments that both are on separate sides of the district. Yes, they are. I mean, centrally located, I think St. Pius, it's right on Brookside. I like that. There's a familiarity to it. Easy in and out. I'm on my way to the train station to pick up my wife. I'm here. I'm going to cast my vote. I've been there. North Stratfield has been a polling place in the past. I know it has. But, when I looked at the maps where I landed on this, when I looked at that new map, it just seemed that there was one pocket north of North Stratfield that was added to this district. That would be the only familiar place that would be voting at North Stratfield. The other two are coming from Osborne Hill and St. Pius, and I would like to keep that familiar, centrally located for people, convenience, familiarity. That's what I see as our obligation in this. I would like to see us continue that. I mean, I was not a fan of redistricting at all, the process we went through, and one thing I was very set on is that don't disturb the voter. Try and keep them voting where they are for the simple fact that, you know, I think that's going to continue participation and continue people to get voting. So that would be my recommendation in going with St. Pius and what we would say that we don't see as suitable within the polling district.
Any further discussion? Representative Gerber, then Representative Dean.
Bill Gerber, District 4. At committee meeting, we had the opportunity to ask Mr. Arturi how he came up with the polling places for each district, and he was very transparent about it. He said he called the RTC leadership and asked them what would be best for them. He made it clear it was political, and I think he felt that was his job to do that. I don't think the polling, and I believe there's some political aspects to this, which some people may think that's just okay. I don't. I don't believe anyone called our, and Ms. Dean can get up later and speak to this, but I don't think anyone called our DTC leadership and asked them, where would you like the polling places to be? I don't think you can possibly argue that we don't have a suitable polling place within District 2. And so to say that, well, you know, Brookside is convenient and, you know, Stratfield Road isn't, that just doesn't ring true to me because I drive on both. And I think they're both suitably convenient. One of them is a town facility, one of them isn't. St. Pius isn't, North Stratfield is. One of them was chosen politically motivated. The other was chosen because it's in district, going completely by the rules. So I beg you guys not to make an issue of this because there's no reason to turn this into a big political thing. Let's just get it done with and do it according to the rules. And I would appreciate that. All right, thank you. Bye.
I had Representative Dean and then Representative Bateson.
Madam Moderator, through you to the town attorney, I had a question regarding the amendment.
Attorney Lesser?
I just wanted to clarify, this amendment would the RTM body would, by passing this amendment, we're saying that there's no appropriate convenient location found within district?
Yeah, I think,
And would that be
with
proper?
respect to Representative Bateson, I think his analysis, I think, confuses the two statutes. If you have two polling places located in the same district, then you can talk about one's more convenient than the other, which is really what I've heard, that, you know, that St. Pius is more convenient than North Stratfield. But when you have when you're looking to place an out-of-district polling place, you actually have to make a specific finding that there is a lack of convenient or suitable polling places in the district. And I don't think, I certainly haven't heard that tonight. Now, whatever you want to do, I think is going to be fine. But I think that if you really strictly want to follow the statute, you have to specifically make a finding that there is a lack of a suitable or convenient polling place in the district. Not that St. Pius is more convenient than North Stratfield. There can't be one in that district.
So if we were to support this, it wouldn't be proper in as much that it's not a suitable polling place. It could be a suitable polling place because it has been a polling place within the district.
I mean, I think if the RTM makes a finding that there's a lack of suitable polling places, that's probably where it's going to end. But I think as a practical matter, there is a suitable place in the district. But, and I think they would have to make that finding.
And
I'd also point out that just from a legal standpoint, I think you're always better off using a town-owned facility rather than a private facility if you can. I mean, you have more control I know that St. Pius has been used for years, and there probably hasn't been any problems, but who knows what could happen, so.
Okay. Thank you.
But it's up to the body.
Representative Bateson. I just want to read back the statute language just as a process point since it keeps coming up. It says the lack of an existing convenient or suitable polling place within the lines of a particular voting district.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Ed Bateson, District 3. I'd like to address that. I don't think that, as to confusing, I'm not saying that as I admitted before, North Stratfield is suitable. But I think there's a more suitable facility outside the district, that being St. Pius. And what I'd like to emphasize there is that, one thing I read in the correspondence that I saw was that the rights of the registrars that they have in making this decision, since they couldn't agree, now revert to us. So that means we also have the right to select outside of the district based upon suitability. Suitability, what I'm saying here, to me, a large part of suitability is convenience. Now, if you say both facilities are somewhat equal when it comes to suitability, when it comes to handicap and what the facilities offer, yes, they're similar. But a dominating factor I see in this instance when it comes to suitability is convenience. And I think that points me towards St. Pius, which gets me away from the suitability, or lessens the suitability of North Stratfield, if you can follow that logic. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Thank you.
Representative Palmer, Representative Schwartz, Representative Gottlieb.
Joe Palmer, District 4. I just want to clarify, I know I was at the meeting on Monday night, and Mr. Gerber mentioned what the town registrar had said, and I don't know if those words were used, that he did it because the Republican Town Committee told him that this was what we wanted. I think what the registrar had said was that he sought the advice of people in the town committee. These are it's kind of instead of being able to canvass the community, he went to people who have been involved in different elections for years. They know the convenience, they know the different districts and where people vote, and that's really it. I don't think there's anything nefarious in the registrar seeking the advice of the RTC chair, and there's no strategic value in us, the Republican Party having, a location in one place or another. So I think he was misunderstood. That's all.
Representative Gottlieb, District 6. This is nice. You can prop everything up here. There's a couple things here, and regardless of how there's an interpretation of what Mr. Arturi may or may not have said and how he prefaced his comments, I think this has been a very long and painful struggle for most of us in this room over a long period of time. And the fact that we even have to be discussing this is a little distasteful, to be perfectly honest with you. And I would like us to stick to, we have some very simple rules where we should be using town facilities to eliminate risk. We should be using, we can be using schools that are within the district. I don't think in this particular case convenient. I mean, I'm looking at my district, my new district, and it is anything but convenient. I'm already hearing people complain about having to go up and down and around and whatever, and I know there are numbers of us that have new districts which are not particularly convenient. And my group is actually going out of district to vote as well. So if you have a perfectly good polling location that has been used, that is in the district, there is no need to look elsewhere. and I could belabor this, but I think I'm just going to stop right there.
Jay Walk, District 6. First, through you, Madam Moderator, can I ask either one of the registrars a question on St. Pius was in what district before this was moved to 2?
The old District 2.
It's the old District 2.
Yep.
Okay. So when I'm looking at the map, just,
What's the question?
well, no, I'm past the question.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for
okay.
answering that.
Oh, sure. No
You're
problem.
welcome. Now looking at the map, and now going to Representative Bateson, which I totally agree with him on convenience, because that's what really this is all about. I see more of a convenience if you look at where North Stratfield School is and where St. Pius is on the map for 2. It looks like the majority of people are going to be more convenient to go to North Stratfield School than St. Pius. If anybody wants to look at that and say maybe I'm wrong, or and that I'm also in agreement that a facility, a town facility, is always better to use in town for a number of reasons, and number of them being a suit. So thank you.
Representative Schwartz and then Representative McCarthy.
Madam Moderator, if you would, could you please read again that first line of the state statute that you read? I thought I heard the word existing, and since we already have an existing, then we wouldn't
No,
be in
it
compliance.
It doesn't end there. It says lack of an existing convenient or suitable polling place within the lines of particular voting district necessitates the designation of a polling place. There's actually no existing there's no existing polling place because this is a new district.
But it was an existing polling place. This is the whole point. It
It
wasn't.
says the lack of an existing convenient or suitable polling place.
Right. So it's.
There's no existing polling place.
Well, sure there is. It was a polling place previous, and it's in the district, so
All right,
therefore
well, you know what,
it's an existing.
I'll just read the sentence, I'll let you make your argument,
you.
I apologize. The lack of an existing convenient or suitable polling place within the lines of a particular voting district necessitates the designation of a polling place in an adjacent district.
Right. So the state statute says the first criteria is to have an existing suitable polling place in the district. North Stratfield School was an existing polling place. It's in the district. It's a moot point after that. It boils down to, what Mr. Bateson, Representative Bateson, decides he thinks is more convenient. Well, I think North Stratfield's more convenient because it's closer to my house. And that's going to be my new district. So, it depends on where you live and what you think is more convenient. But the state statute says existing, convenient, and in district. So therefore, I believe that we're going to be out of compliance with the state statute if we move it outside the district. I think you have to vote this down.
Representative McCarthy, then Representative Bateson, then Representative Caffarelli.
Tom McCarthy. Am I on? Tom McCarthy, District 8. The question of convenience is in many respects subjective, but in subcommittee what I said was I want to hear an objective reason why I would select one location over the other. And I think from the standpoint of convenience, I think that Pius will be minimally disruptive to people who have voted there for the last so many years. So that's the argument that I will hang my hat on. At the end, I think that's the argument that carries the day, that by us designating Pius as the voting location, it represents the least amount of disruption for the voters. And for that reason, I believe it fulfills the definition of convenient better than does North Stratfield.
Representative Bateson, then Caffarelli.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Ed Bates in District 3. In rebuttal to Representative Schwartz, I don't think we're going to be out of compliance with state statute on this. I think we are following state statute. We're giving consideration to what's within District 1st, and we have I am determined, or I've decided, and I'm hoping that others will, that there's a more suitable location outside of the district, which is perfectly legal and perfectly up to us if we deem that's what we want to do. So I see this as a proper thing. I think the process that has been outlined is that you should first give consideration. We have. And we've moved on to our second option. So I ask you to support it. Thank you.
Okay. I have a point of order from the town attorney, and then I have Representative Caffarelli.
I just want to, again, I think that your analysis is missing the mark, and I just point to two comments that were made. The first comment that was made by Representative McCarthy, where he says that St. Pius is more convenient than North Stratfield, and then Representative Bateson said St. Pius is more suitable. That's not the proper analysis in this case. That would be a proper analysis if you had two competing in-district polling places, but where you have an out-of-district, it's not which is better, it's there is a complete lack of polling place in the district. And I think by what I've heard, there is a suitable and convenient. You just feel that one is more than the other, which is not proper for out-of-district. If you vote it, is it going to be a problem? Probably not, in all honesty. I don't think anybody's going to do anything about it. But again, you're the legislative body, and I think you have to look at these things properly. So that's my comment.
Brian Caffarelli. Okay, District 10. I'm actually very happy to follow Attorney Lester here because I think it's pretty clear from the statute and Attorney Bromley's opinion that it is in the purview of our judgment as this legislative body, not, with all due respect, the town attorney to judge whether or not we're using our judgment correctly to analyze these fairly subjective words of being convenient or suitable. And to Representative Schwartz, I mean, the very first sentence says, when in the written opinion of the registrars. And when they can't agree, our judgment substitutes for the registrars. And so it is an opinion. So that's exactly what we're doing here, is we're looking at this and deciding whether or not it's suitable or convenient. And I disagree with everyone who says we're outside the scope of what authority we have. I think it's very clear in here that the General Assembly said, look, if the registrars can't decide, we've put it squarely in front of the legislative body, not the town attorney, to decide whether or not subjectively there is a convenient or suitable polling place. And that we do not feel there's not, what I'm hearing from this body.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Representative Farnan. You have to call a question and go to the public. We haven't gone to the public yet. Representative Steele.
Jeff Steele, District 2. So for full disclosure, I'm from District 2. Old District 2, new District 2. I understand what Stanton says. It makes sense. I think this, in the end, is going to be a judgment call, an opinion here. It is a subjective decision whether we think it is suitable, existing, and convenient. I mean, it's not existing. It's not an existing polling location. Is it suitable? Yeah. Is it convenient? Well, I'm going to have, I say, having been in District 2 for 10 years, actually 15, it's not convenient. And I think the bulk of the population of the new District 2 is down towards the St. Pius area. All the traffic goes through. It's in the center, almost in the center of town. It is actually, I know this is what's more convenient or what's less, but I have to point this out. Also, I don't think it's convenient because it's actually not even suitable because you got to drive through a neighborhood. I mean, it's all neighborhood streets all through North Stratfield. I mean, you got to go slowly. I mean, it's just a ton of traffic up through that neighborhood area. You're talking about Brookside, which is much more of a thoroughfare, and I think that makes more sense. My other point is that this town has been through, well, this body and some of this town has been through a lot with this redistricting, and I'm one who can say that more than anyone. but this would be the least disruptive way is to keep it where it is. And I think if convenience is important, and it is, this convenience comes down to what's familiar. And if most of the voters, or the majority of the voters, know this district, then that is convenient. That is the definition of convenient, because it is familiar to them, it's convenient to them, and I don't think North Stratfield is therefore convenient, suitable slightly, and it's not existing. So I'm for keeping it at St. Pius.
The deputy moderator pointed out that I missed Representative Waldron before. I apologize. Representative Waldron, then Representative Dean.
Hello. Okay. Cindy Waldron, District 4. I just have a question about convenience. According to what I've received in my packet, it looks like North Stratfield is actually a little bit closer. And if Matt would like to come up and explain the mileage that I'm seeing, you almost have to travel an entire mile further to get to St. Pius if you're in District 2. So I don't know how convenient that could be to everybody if the mile is a little, you know, can play a part in this. So if Matt, would you come up and...
Are you asking through the moderator for the registrar?
I'm sorry, through the moderator.
That's okay.
I apologize.
No, that's all right. Mr. Wagner, would you like to address the question?
Hello, everybody. Is this? Yeah. Matt Wagner, one of your two loyal and trusty registrars. Thank you very much. I was going to speak during the public section. There were a couple of questions that had come up, and I did bring written material to the committees. For those of you who didn't attend them, I have that, and I'm happy to share. There were, you know, I guess the standards that I had made for sort of choosing these options, apart from being in the district, which is something, I guess, this is maybe an unusual part of our job, but that as a registrar...
Matt, if you could
yeah,
just please
I'll be
speak
quick.
to the question, which is, can you discuss the mileage between St. Pius and North Stratfield, please? Thank you.
Pam's been talking to me a lot lately, so. But for that particular district, the mileage to North Stratfield on average, and just measuring the distance between each voter that's registered right now to each of the two polling places, is about 1.06 miles on average to North Stratfield and 2.4 miles maximum distance to North Stratfield. For St. Pius, it's 1.45 miles on average distance, and the maximum, the furthest that any voter in the district would need to drive, would be 3.31 miles. There was also a question just about the composition of District 2, the number of people. Yeah, it was a question that came up during the committees, and the moderator asked me to look into it, which was that District 7 makes up 47% of the new District 2, the old District 2 makes up 37%, and the District 4 makes up 16%. So I'm happy to share these with anyone who wants to see those distances written down.
If you want to, thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I feel that if we're going to hang our hat on convenience, then obviously when you're a little bit closer to the polling place, as Mr. Wagner, you know, told us, this is a little more convenient to go with North Stratfield. Thank you.
Is there anybody else who wishes to address? I'm sorry, thank you. Representative Dean.
Representative Dean, District 4. With regards to opinion, I'm looking at the 4 that we've just voted on, and I know that we took into consideration that it was in district. And in cases like Holy Family Parish, which I originally was supportive of, I had changed my mind because it was compelling to use a municipal building. And that's why I was easily persuaded to agree with that. So I'm looking through the last 3 that we voted on, and we did. We chose either it was a municipal building and one that was in district, or if it couldn't be in district, it was a municipal building that was right outside district. So it seems to me that this makes sense because it North Stratfield has been is in district, and it also has been a polling place. I also want to point out, I'm in District 4. I'm going to be in the new District 3. District 4, you couldn't come any closer to convenience for going to voting. I walked, I don't know, 100 paces to Osborne Hill School to vote. Now I'm going to Fairfield Woods Middle School in between 4 buildings. That is by no means convenient for me, but it is what it is. It's still a municipal building, and I support that. I probably would have put up a fuss if it was going to be going to a building that was privately owned. So I'm going to stick with it being in district and being a municipal building, because I think that that's smart for this body. Thank you.
Representative Caffarelli? I move that we go to public comment. Is there a second? No. Seconded by Representative DiMartino. All those in favor of all those in favor of moving to public comment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Representative Schwartz, Representative Zezima, Representative Gerber, Representative Waldron, Garskoff, Gottlieb, Marks, Gerber, I think I got, Representative Durrell, is your hand up? Okay. Representative Dean, Hochberg, Walk, Newman, I can't see who's there. Oh, sorry, Hopkins and Pierce. Passes? I didn't hear you, I'm sorry. 23 yes, 15 no. So we move to public comment. Is that, how many people are here? That's a 2/3. It's just a majority vote? How many people are here?
It's really a motion to call the question.
No, he didn't. He just moved to go to public comment. You didn't move to debate. All right, I'm gonna accept it. Anyone who'd like to speak to the item, please step up to the microphone. It passed unanimously. We're just moving to public comment. I mean, I'm sorry, it didn't pass unanimously, but we're just moving to public comment, then we'll come back to discussion. It doesn't end discussion. And in fact, since someone's going to speak, you automatically have the body, it opens it up to the body again. Right.
Kevin Floyd, 67 Sachem Road.
He is.
The mic is off. Just turn on the mic.
Oh. There we go. Kevin Flynn, 67 Sachem Road. This is, redistricting is being a tough thing for everybody, but simply put, the people from District 7 have to go over, they go to Fairfield Woods, Black Rock Turnpike, down Sam Mortar into St. Pius. When you go to North Stratfield, you get off at Puttinggreen Road, you simply go about 500 yards, you're there. I don't know, in my experience with North Stratfield polling place, I went there, I grew up in the neighborhood. Nobody's ever had a problem with the neighborhood streets. That's never been a problem. People just zip in and out of North Stratfield and just go there. North Stratfield's a public facility. I really think that it's more convenience is good. People go up Mill Plain, they take a right to go to St. Pius, that's fine. Okay, but North Stratfield's a public facility. It's what, this is the legislative body. The statute says it should be at the facility. I think it should be kept at North Stratfield. Thank you very much.
Step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Matt Wagner, 168 Grassmere. Matt Wagner, 168 Grassmere Avenue. Just a couple of things. In elections, and this is, we have a very different role than a legislative body. In elections, what we do is we operate on a status quo. A lot of things are based on a status quo. One of those things and going back through the history of these laws, is that people should always be voting in their voting district. It's our duty first to find a polling place in a district, to say, let's search, let's go and visit these places, let's see if there's anything that would prevent us from using them. There was one option where I made a compromise with my counterpart, who has left the room, unfortunately, because we did look at all the places that were available, and there really was no suitable place that was going to work out in what's now District 4. But for these other places, there really is a suitable place, and I guess I would ask you to sort of follow up on, what your duty is in this regard, to say, you have to find a place in the district if you can. And one of the things I put in this packet of information was the testimony around the bill by the state senators that passed it. And they really envision, you really want to have a bipartisan consensus before changing this status quo. And that's really how we're supposed to operate. Speaking about the polling places in particular, one other thing about St. Pius that is a concern is that they have not been available to us at every election. They don't close on, primary days or referendum days, and we have had to move to Burr in the past there, and that's why we have experience voting at Burr School, just because St. Pius has not allowed us to vote there for every election. And one other final thing, just about what's now District 7, for Fairfield University, and I wanted to make sure that people heard this, because I think it's an important point. Looking at the election system overall, one of my biggest concerns, and it has been for years, is that...
Mr. Wagner, we're on the amendment for just dealing with this particular district.
Oh, the suitability of in versus out?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll
We're only on North Stratfield or St. Pius. You need to speak to that.
Okay, well then I will yield the microphone, and I will see you later. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else from the public who wishes to address this item? Seeing no one. Is there anybody in the body who wishes to address? Representative Gerber and then Representative Farnan.
Bill Gerber, District 4. First of all, something Mr. Palmer said, I just want to make sure that I correct any misconceptions and apologize to Mr. Ortori if he thinks that I said anything about implying that there's something nefarious going on. Absolutely did not mean that. What I said, or what I meant to say, was that when asked about the process, he was very transparent that this was a political process, that he went to Republican leadership. He didn't apologize for it, and he didn't say it was bad, and I don't necessarily know whether it's right or wrong, but he went to the Republican leadership and asked them where they want the polling places. And I assume that St. Pius was one of those places that they preferred, which makes this political. He didn't say that was right or wrong. He said the Democratic registrar should have done the same thing, but he didn't. Now, I personally don't think that it should be political. This should have something to do with where people live, whether it's within the rules, how convenient it is. So, we all know that Stratfield is 5 minutes from the Merritt. That's not convenient. How can you possibly make the case that Stratfield's not convenient? It's right off the Merritt. It's right off North Stratfield. And Mr. Steele, I'm sorry, going through neighborhoods, it's probably a few hundred yards through neighborhoods. I mean, it's really not through neighborhoods. It's right off Stratfield Road. So it's a political process when it should not have been. It is convenient. It is suitable. And it's closer. Mr. Wagner just said that North Stratfield is closer, on average, to the people in that district. So please, I beg you, we've made it this far. Let's not make this political. Let's do this right. Let's finish off the process, do it right, use the right building, use the town building, not use a church that we don't know if we're always going to be able to use. Why are we doing this? Why are we even having this discussion? It's really infuriating, actually.
I already recognized Representative Farnan. Is there a second by Representative DiMartino? This is a 2/3 vote. There's 38 of us. That means 25 to pass. So, all in favor, did I do the math right? Yeah, 26? 26, sorry. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Representative Schwartz, Representative Zezima, Representative Gerber, Waldron, Garskoff, Gottlieb, Marks. Piers, Newman, Walk, Dean, and Hochberg. Siebert. Okay. Okay. Item passes. 26 to 12. Thank you. No, now we're on the, well, yeah, we called the question. So now we have to take a vote. So, all in favor of the amendment, we're on the amendment. And this is that we haven't found a suitable. Sure.
We're voting now, I think, on whether we agree that there is not a suitable.
Yes. Yes, the item on the agenda right now, the item right now up for a vote is whether or not there is a suitable location in District 7. 2, sorry, 2. Is that there is not, and can you read back the? Here, let me give you the microphone. It's this. Yeah. After examination of potential polling places within and without certain voting districts in the town is the opinion of the representative town meeting as expressed by a resolution adopted and duly noticed, blah, blah, that there are no suitable polling locations within the district. That's the amendment. Is a point of order? Yes. Sure, that's not a problem. Okay, and that you're directing me to send a letter to the town. Yes. Yes. Suitable or convenient, I'm sorry. I was reading the letter. Does the clerk have the appropriate language? Okay. I apologize. Suitable or convenient. Any other questions? Okay. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Sorry, what is it again exactly? So yes, it is not suitable.
Correct.
John Donovan?
Yes.
Michael Hurley?
Yes.
Gaylord Meyer?
Yes.
Eric Sundman? Catherine Burstein? Jeff Steele? Ed Bateson? Hank Ferentz? David McKenzie? Mary McCullough? Heather Dean? Joe DiMartino? Bill Gerber? Joe Palmer? Cindy Waldron? Josh Garskoff? Carol Way? Julie Gottlieb? Alan Marks? Joe Siebert? Jay Wolk? Elizabeth Zezima? Jen Hochberg? Kevin Hopkins? Eric Newman? Philip Pierce? Hal Schwartz? Alex Durrell? Tom McCarthy? Jeff Melorano? Pam Iacono?
Yes.
Lori McArdle? Carol Pontrelli? Chris Timniak? Brian Caffarelli? Brian Farnan? Ray Newberger? Bruce Ryan?
Item passes 22-14-2. Now we're back to voting on the polling location.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Ed Bates in District 3. Okay, after all that, I propose that the resolution now read it strikes North Stratfield Elementary School. It will now read District 2, St. Pius School.
Is there a second? Representative McCarthy. Any discussion? Representative Gottlieb.
Julie Gottlieb, District 6. Through you, Madam Moderator, to Mr. Wagner or Mr. Autori, could you tell me if there is a charge for using Pius or?
We've used Pius for going on like 15, 20 years. There used to be an arrangement, there still is as far as I know, where St. Pius gets barrels and picnic tables as any civic organization can get from the DPW when they have a picnic type of thing. And they've been happy with that type of an arrangement. And that's as far as it goes. They don't charge us anything in a monetary funding way.
So, barter system. One other question. Do we have data, again through you, Madam Moderator, to the registrars that indicates how frequently we have been unable to use Pius for whatever reason? There was a mention that they have been closed in the past, off and on.
Mr. Autori, you had your hand up. If you both want to answer the question, that's fine with me.
Just once. Thank you. Thank you.
So for the record, it was one time because we didn't make the reservation quickly enough for a referendum. Any other discussion? Representative Hurley.
Michael Hurley, District 1. I'd like to maybe just call on Jeff Steele if he could stand up here with the map, which is a larger map. And I think Jay Walk had a small map, and he was trying to show people that it was more convenient. I disagree with that, but maybe Jeff could just show the two locations. I guess this is District 2 here.
Representative Hurley, do you want to state your case of why you're supporting St. Pius?
I am, and I'm going to the map why I'm supporting
Okay.
St.
And I'll
Pius.
if we could please, Representative Dean, if you could let Representative Hurley finish. Thank you.
So no, well, just go back to that. Aren't we now debating Dwight or? No. Okay. Good? Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. No, all I was going to say, I'm good. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you all for your patience this evening on all the different procedures. Representative Palmer.
Joe Palmer, District 4. I just wanted to address Mr. Gerber's statements just about the politics around this. I don't believe that this was a political decision or there was a discussion around it. And, yes, maybe the registrar spoke with people on the Republican Town Committee, but right in our midst, right now, we have the Democrat Town Committee chairman who has been voting on everything that we've been talking about tonight. And, I'm not saying that there's anything nefarious there either. This, but this is just the way things go. But you can make a big stink about how maybe that's a conflict of interest. Maybe she shouldn't be voting on this. And but I just think talking about the politics of it, there hasn't been a political strategy on our side, and I'm assuming that there hasn't been one as well from Mrs. Dean. But I'm just saying that you can make these allegations and stuff, and it's just there's just nothing there.
Okay, thank you. Let's, on the St. Pius, in support of St. Pius, please. Thank you. Representative Dino will let you address that since it was directed to you.
Dean, still District 4. I'd like to propose an amendment and to this and offer up Osborne Hill School because it is a municipal building. It is very convenient to go to. It has been a past polling place, and I think that given that we're looking for convenience and past practices and a municipal building within district, that is an option.
Is there a second? Seconded by Representative Gerber. Discussion on this item. I actually have a procedural question for the town attorney. Can she make an amendment on this? Is the other, since it's on an amendment, you can do that twice? Okay. My second question procedurally on the polling places, is that too far away?
I think that's up.
Okay.
It's up to you to decide. I mean,
There are,
you've
there,
already made a finding that there's no suitable place in the district.
okay.
That's the finding you've made, so I don't know, how you're going to go back on that.
Okay. I'll allow discussion. Is there any discussion on Osborne Hill? Representative Bateson.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Ed Bates in District 3. Through you to the town attorney procedural. It would be my assumption that putting forth this amendment puts into play a facility that isn't listed on the agenda. So I'm thinking to myself that that's ineligible for action for the simple fact that it's not on the list. I thought they couldn't agree. These were the two choices. That's all we had, the choice of these two facilities. Okay, well, why is that? I didn't know that there was other...
No, I think that once you've made a finding that there's no suitable polling place within a district, then you open it up. And, it's...
Okay, so that's your opinion that
Yeah.
once that, okay, it doesn't revert to St. Pius.
I don't think it does. I think you could designate any polling place now. Although there is... Let me get the statute.
There's always an old.
Let's take a look at the statute. Well, the statute does provide that if you're out of district, that the polling place should be, quote, located as near as possible to the boundaries of the voting district for which designated. So I would say that you really should strive to find a polling place that's as close to the boundaries of the subject district.
Which is what?
That's the registrars.
Okay, I'm getting an indication from Mr. Autori that indicates St. Pius.
I would tend to
I would think so,
agree.
too. So therefore, I would not support this amendment. Thank you.
Representative Hurley, then Representative Dean.
Michael Hurley, District 1. We have the sort of the blown-up map here, and if I could maybe call upon Representative Dean, and she may know this sort of a little bit better than I do since I'm down over here. Could you point us on the map? So this is the district we're talking about, which is in green, and where is St. Pius first? Okay. Okay, Representative Steele, maybe you could come and point out.
So it's this versus this.
So, okay. So Osborne is where down? Here, correct? Okay, so I guess the question is, you have the purple over here, which is clearly, they're both out of district. Maybe Heather, you could just step back now? Thank you. So, no, you're good, Ed. Thank you, Val. So we have Osborne, which is over here, and then over here, right across the street, is St. Pius. So I would say, just based upon the town attorney's interpretation, if you're going out of district, you would want one that's closer. To the extent I think St. Pius meets that criterion. We're not debating that now.
Okay, we're losing our focus here. We have voted that we are going out of district. There was a recommendation for Osborne Hill. There was a second. We're on discussion for Osborne Hill. Is there any more discussion on Osborne Hill? Representative Dean, then Representative Farnan.
We have opened up the gate as far as recommended and suitability and convenience. With regards to it being convenient, Osborne Hill is convenient. It is familiar to many, many voters, including in that area, who do attend Osborne Hill School or who have voted there. And I think that it is a good recommendation. I do have another recommendation after this if this fails, so let's go for it.
I forgot where we are. Representative Farnan, I apologize. Is there a second? Representative DiMartino. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Representative Schwartz, Representative Zezima, Representative Waldron, Garskoff, Gerber, Gottlieb, Marks, Hochberg, Dean, Walk, Newman, Hopkins. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak to this item on Osborne Hill? Mr. Ottori.
Reason why I didn't pick Osborne Hill first, because I talked to the...
Is the mic on? Sorry.
It's on, I think. The reason why I didn't pick Osborne Hill was because I talked to the Board of Ed, Mr. Morabito, who said for the foreseeable future, every summer, that school is going to be reconstructed. And that precludes us using that building for primaries and also other special elections. So that's why I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. So it wasn't anything to do with it. I had to live across the street. Okay. Okay. So that was my reason, and it sort of holds true for even this. Okay?
Back to the body. Representative DiMartino. Is there a second? Representative Meyer. Can I do a roll call? This is to call the question. Requires 2/3 majority. Sorry, Ann.
Yes, thanks.
Betsy's on official town business too, I think.
John Donovan? Yes. Michael Hurley?
Sure, it's to call the question and end debate. It's to end debate.
Gaylord Meyer? Eric Sundman? Catherine Burstein? Jeff Steele? Ed Bateson? Hank Ferentz? David McKenzie? Mary McCullough? Heather Dean? Joe DiMartino? Bill Gerber? Joe Palmer? Cindy Waldron? Josh Garskoff? Carol Way? Julie Gottlieb? Alan Marks? Joe Siebert? Jay Walk? Elizabeth Zezima? Jen Hochberg? Kevin Hopkins? Eric Newman? Philip Pierce? Hal Schwartz? Alex Durrell? Tom McCarthy? Jeff Malarano? Pam Iacono?
Yes.
Lori McCardle? Carol Pontrelli? Chris Timniak? Brian Caffarelli? Brian Farnan? Ray Newberger? Bruce Ryan?
Never come to the mic without a bottle of water. I'll be okay, thank you. Twenty-three, 14, 1. The debate continues. I'm just going to go to Representative Gottlieb because she hasn't spoken to the... Representative Gottlieb. We're on Osborne Hill.
Julie Gottlieb, District 6. Through you, Madam Moderator, I see that the Chairman of the Board of Education is here. Hi. Sorry.
He's shaking his head no that he's not here.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Sadly, no. Could you elaborate for us what plans are underway for Osborne Hill this summer? My understanding was it was just windows, but I could be incorrect.
There are windows, the corridors, so the foreseeable future is a term. Probably for the next 2 or 3 years, yes, there will be work in the summer and all the rest. But foreseeable future beyond 3 years, the project's probably going to be done by that time.
And with the work that's happening over the 3 years, in kind of your opinion, would that preclude us from using Osborne Hill?
I think if our building staff would be more comfortable that if you had a primary that was needed during the summer when all school construction has to happen, they probably would rather have you not have to use a portion or corner of that property while construction's going on, but it wouldn't be insurmountable.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Any other discussion from the body on Osborne Hill? We already went to public comment. All those in favor of the amendment, please, all those in favor of Osborne Hill, please signify by saying aye. Representative, opposed? Oh, God. I'm going to do a roll call vote. Okay. Woo. All right, we are on Osborne Hill. If you could call the roll. Those in favor of moving to Osborne Hill. Oh, sorry. Here, take this.
Okay. John Donovan.
No.
Michael Hurley.
Nope.
Gaylord Meyer. Eric Sundman. Catherine Burstein. Jeff Steele. Ed Bateson. Hank Ferentz. David McKenzie. Mary McCullough. Heather Dean. Joseph DiMartino. Bill Gerber. Joe Palmer. Cindy Waldron. Josh Garskoff. Carol Way. Julie Gottlieb. Alan Marks. Joe Siebert. Jay Walk. Elizabeth Zezima. Jen Hochberg. Kevin Hopkins. Eric Newman. Philip Pierce. Hal Schwartz. Alex Durrell. Tom McCarthy. Jeff Malarano. Pam Iacono. Lori McCardle. Carol Pontrelli. Chris Timniak. Brian Caffarelli. Brian Farnan. Ray Newberger. Bruce Ryan.
The vote fails 729-2. We're back to St. Pius under consideration. Mr. DiMartino. We've gone to public comment. We have. So all those in favor of calling the question? Roll call vote, please. Was there a second for that, by the way? Representative Steele. No, this is to call the question. This is the call the question. 2/3 vote.
John Donovan? Michael Hurley? Gaylord Meyer? Eric Sundman? Catherine Burstein? Jeff Steele? Ed Bateson? Hank Ferentz? David McKenzie? Mary McCullough? Heather Dean? Joe DiMartino? Bill Gerber? Joseph Palmer? Cindy Waldron? Josh Garskoff? Carol Way? Julie Gottlieb? Alan Marks? Joe Siebert? Jay Walk? Elizabeth Zezima? Jen Hochberg? Kevin Hofkins? Eric Newman? Philip Pierce? Harold Schwartz? Hal Schwartz? Alex Durrell? Tom McCarthy? Jeff Malorano? Pam Iacono?
Yes.
Lori McCardle? Carol Pontrelli? Chris Timniak? Brian Caffarelli? Brian Farnan? Raymond Newberger? Bruce Ryan?
I'm sorry, yes? What was it? 2414? So that fails. Fails, the debate keeps going. Anybody else wish to speak about St. Pius and St. Pius only? Representative Marks.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Alan Marks, District 6. So we are voting on whether St. Pius is acceptable or whether North Stratfield is a more suitable.
Nope, we're only voting on whether or not.
Excuse me? Only on.
We're on St. Pius. Why
St. Pius.
you would want
Thank
to.
you.
Why you would either speak to why you want to vote for St. Pius or
Okay.
why you're going to vote against St. Pius.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to vote against St. Pius because I've heard a lot of arguments tonight about why St. Pius was a better, why it's a good place, and those arguments I thought didn't make a lot of sense and didn't really address the main issue. But for me, what this really comes down to is an issue of fairness. This process, as it has been mentioned, has been a long and painful one for us. And this body voted on the redistricting plan in a bipartisan manner. It was very good to see, and it's disturbing now to see what I believe really is a political decision that's being made. To say that this is anything but that, I think is foolish, and the people of Fairfield need to know that. So therefore, I will not be supporting a vote on St. Pius, and I urge you to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Marks. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to St. Pius? Representative Siebert.
Joe Siebert, District 6. I've been trying to maintain the utmost degree of bipartisanship that I possibly can throughout this process. Now that North Stratfield is off the table, obviously, you would think, well, you have no choice but to vote for St. Pius. However, I'm not even going to use the word politics here. I'm talking about just being consistent. And I think it's my job to be consistent and to be bipartisan. And when I look at the other decisions being made, McKinley out of district, but certainly more suitable. And we ruled that way because Holy Family was not ADA compliant, it wasn't suitable, so we went out of district. Holland Hill, Dwight, no problem on any of those. However, in this particular case, when you look at North Stratfield, the argument over St. Pius or St. Pius over North Stratfield in terms of the word convenience, the burden of proof was not good enough for me. You could toss a coin about convenience. One person gets up and says it's more convenient for the people in the district to go to North Stratfield, and many arguments the other way. And it should be obvious that from a convenience standpoint that St. Pius was the choice. And to me it wasn't. And therefore, to vote against North Stratfield, which was in the district, a public facility, and equally convenient, to me is totally inconsistent with the other votes that we all agreed on. So just based on that, I just don't feel comfortable voting for St. Pius, just based on principle and consistency. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else on St. Pius? Okay. Will the clerk please call the roll for the vote? Yes. Representative Schwartz, I blame you for not putting that in the budget.
Are you ready?
Yes.
John Donovan?
Yes.
Michael Hurley? Yes. Jay Lipp? I'm sorry, Gaylord Meyer? Yes. Eric Sunman? Yes. Catherine Burstein? Yes. Jeff Steele? Yes. Ed Bateson? Yes. Hank Ferentz? Yes. David McKenzie? Yes. Mary McCulloch? Yes. Heather Dean? Yes. Joe DiMartino? Yes. Bill Gerber? No. Joe Palmer? Yes. Cindy Waldron? No. Josh Garskoff? No. Carol Way? Abstain. Julie Gottlieb? No. Alan Marks? No. Joe Siebert? Abstain. Jay Walk? No. Elizabeth Sezema? No. Jen Hochberg? No. Kevin Hofkins? No. Eric Newman? No. Philip Pierce? No. Hal Schwartz? No. Alex Durrell? Yes. Tom McCarthy? No. Jeff Melorano? Yes. Pam Iacono?
Yes.
Lori McArdle? Yes. Carol Pontrelli? Yes. Chris Timniak? Yes. Brian Caffarelli? Yes. Brian Farnan? Yes. Ray Newberger? Yes. Bruce Ryan? Yes. I had a pass in District 4.
Do I have to go back to the main motion? I'm all good. But for all of them? No, we would, okay. Oh, because we separated them. You're right. Thank you. Sorry. 23-13-2. Item passes 23-13-2. Okay, so I'm going to certify that we chose Dwight. But I thought we did because we separated it. Right? No, it wasn't. We separated all four and then voted. So we're good, right? Right, and then we voted. All right, okay. Okay, and let's vote on the main motion as amended. Then I have to add in that thing. Whereas pursuant to Connecticut General Statute Section 7-169, the Fairfield Registers of Voters are required to designate by agreement a polling place for each of the 10 voting districts in town. And whereas pursuant to the Connecticut General Statute Section 7-169, if the Registers of Voters fail to agree on a polling place for the particular district, the legislative body of the town is to designate said polling place. And whereas the Register of Voters have failed to agree on polling places for districts 1, 2, 6, and 7, now, therefore, be it resolved that in accordance with Connecticut General Statutes, the following locations are designated as polling places for their respective voting districts. District 1, Dwight Elementary School. District 2, St. Pius School. District 6, McKinley Elementary School. District 7, Holland Hill Elementary School. Moved by Representative Bateson, seconded by Representative McCarthy. Point of order, yes. It was as amended. Representative Bateson had the language as amended. So now we're on the main motion. So this is the motion as amended. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry. Procedurally, it's been a long night. Will the clerk please call the roll for a vote? No. Thank you, though.
John Donovan. Michael Hurley. Gaylord Meyer. Eric Sundman. Catherine Burstein. Jeff Steele. Ed Bateson. Hank Ferentz. David McKenzie. Mary. That wasn't the question. Was that a yes? Mary McCullough, Heather Dean, Joe DiMartino, Bill Gerber, Joe Palmer, Cindy Waldron, Josh Garskoff, Carol Way, Julie Gottlieb, Alan Marks, Joe Siebert, Jay Wolk, Elizabeth Zezima, Jen Hochberg, Kevin Hopkins, Eric Newman, Phil Pierce, Hal Schwartz, Alex Durrell, Tom McCarthy, Jeff Melorano, Pam Iacono, Lori McArdle, Carol Pontrelli, Chris Timniak, Brian Caffarelli, Brian Farnan, Ray Newberger, Bruce Ryan.
Item passes 25-11-1. Last item of business, and I know Representative Steele has asked for a moment of personal privilege, but the last item is to consider and act upon any other matters presented to said meeting and which may be properly acted upon under the rules of the representative town meeting. Representative Steele.
I'll make this quick. This is just a quick announcement. Some of you may know that there's a movement afoot in the state to put in 3 new casinos in Connecticut, and one of the locations being proposed potentially is Bridgeport. And on the Senate floor, potentially on Wednesday, we'll hit a bill to potentially have this approved. It has to still go to the House, but a lot of debate will ensue. In other words, I think this region should really become active to really consider having a casino in Bridgeport. But in any case, what I'm announcing is on Sunday, this Memorial Day weekend, the 24th of May at 4 o'clock at Greenfield Hill Congregational Church, there's going to be an informational forum on casino expansion, Keno, and gambling in Connecticut for those of you who want to attend. One of the speakers happens to be my father, former Congressman Bob Steele, who's involved in this issue and has been speaking throughout New England and New York to towns and municipalities, probably over 200 of them in the last year and a half, rallying essentially against casino expansion in backyards like we may have. So that's going to happen. There's also Cass Shaw is the Greater Bridgeport Council of Churches director, and Alita Ward at the church will be hosting this. So if anyone's interested from an informational standpoint, 4 o'clock on Sunday at Greenfield Hill Congregational Church.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Representative Dean, Representative Bateson, thank you all.